All right, folks, welcome on back here this Thursday afternoon, December 17th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. Hopefully so. I just had to restart my trading room here. So for all of us in social media, I hope that you folks could hear me loud and clear. I think for all of us inside the trading room, I should be good to go. Tony, Tim, Gary, Don, Ron, that all rhymes at least. Great to see. I hope that you folks can hear me loud and clear. Great to see all of us as well. Monica, Norman, June, Jeff, perfect. All right, so really quick, what we'll do is just jump right into this NXTD trade, but I really want to talk about the riot, the Mara. We ended up seeing a big push once more, overnight in Bitcoin, the cryptos. So, that's really been our point of focus heading into this morning. So, for right now, NXTD, nonetheless, this ended up making a beautiful push heading into the late morning, right around 11 o'clock, 11:15. So, as you could see, broke out above the highs, big resistance at the time off of 130-ish, 135. Ooh, big shake back down right now. Well, that goes to kind of prove, although it did look kind of strong just before, it does prove two things actually here. How about this? Number one, for a stock trading 345 million shares, to see this stock make one big move up, pull back down, and make a second move back up, you don't really expect to see like that much bigger of a continued move up higher, if anything. If it was really at the highs, right at that 210 breaking higher right there, that would have been a different story perhaps. But nonetheless, the second point here that I could prove is that you never look to buy a stock directly underneath a whole number, right? We talked about that inside our Traders Talk workshop just earlier today, or earlier this week inside our trading room. So nonetheless, if you were to buy right there, that NXTD right around 193, 194, 192 even, how much opportunity are you really setting yourself up for? That's the question, right? So it looks like this didn't even kiss to. This ended up maybe tipping off right at like 199, 198. Ooh, 197 here even. This bar is the high, 197 on this peak. That's not good. So even if you're expecting two, you're not getting it right there, obviously, right? So we ended up just seeing a colossal shake back down. Fausto always says, just with this, and I would agree, it's a cheap stock. It's a level one trade, so it's one that you could potentially trade a lot of shares of. So if you're trading like 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 shares of this stock, again, you have to try and think about opportunity cost. So here, big shake back down. For the afternoon at this point, it looked strong right before it ended up just shaking there. So I think we're pretty much sold off this stock for the afternoon. We're going to keep this off our main list. All right. So what we will do, though, is just pretty much just jump right to the Bitcoin stocks here, the blockchain stocks, I should rather say, Mara mainly here today. And then Riot. So, Mara, we ended up seeing this stock pull back after the market opened up. But, look at the daily chart. The last few days, day over day over day, just these big gaps overnight. Bitcoin will typically run, shortly after the market closes, roughly around like 6 o'clock or so. Don't kill me. Don't take me for that exact time, but like roughly around 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30, you'll tend to see a lot more action within the crypto market. Actually, so much. What I'll look to do is even do this for all of us here. So Mara, nonetheless, after the open, pulled back and pushed up, but I want to do a side by side between this and Bitcoin. So let's see if I could fancy this up here. Give me a quick second. It's not being my friend right now. I hope to have had this set up to get big. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Excellent. So this is Bitcoin to USD right here, right? So, this is a live chart right now. So nonetheless, you could see Bitcoin after the market opened. We're talking 9:30, where my cursor is. Moved up. It pulled back, though, after, right? You folks could see that. Well, from there, roughly around 10:30, it started to shoot up pretty nicely. Moved up to its new all-time high, roughly around 23.7. No, not all-time high. Sorry, this peak here, but, obviously pretty close. But nonetheless, from right that point, it ended up, making this beautiful round at top. I commented on that heading into the afternoon for all of us inside the trading room. This, Bitcoin ended up just dropping off sharply, pushing back up. But, nonetheless, just if I pull this back down, you could see pretty clearly this ended up making a similar move with Bitcoin, Mara, M-A-R-A. And I would say the same with Riot. Give me a quick second here. But Riot over the last couple of days actually hasn't been as strongly correlated to Bitcoin's move compared to Mara. put that back up. Oh, give me a quick second here. There we go. So we're talking 9:30. If I'm going to try and line this up, actually, so it's like picture perfect. Yeah, right there. You could see. So you could see the move down heading into the afternoon on Bitcoin, and Riot ended up going down with it, made similar, bounce, lower high here. I feel like Mara's kind of been moving with it a bit better over the last few days, the last couple of days at least. But just looking at the daily chart, up and up and up and up, Riot's gone, and we'll look at the daily chart here for Bitcoin. Up and up and up and up and up. This obviously breaking through 20,000 just yesterday, and here we are now. All right, so that's your Josh Levitan Bitcoin update for the day. So we'll try and do that pretty much going forward with how strong Bitcoin's been. So, that leads us to what happens here on this Riot trade, what happens to us on this Mara position here heading into the afternoon. For right now, Mara looks stronger in relation to Bitcoin's move, as I had said. So for the meantime, I really don't mind throwing Mara just on our main watch list for right now. If we have like a really big list as we now go from top to bottom, I'll look to, maybe just kind of be more selective, maybe kick this off. This is not shortable, whereas Riot is. So if we happen to see Bitcoin drop off pretty sharply, I know how strong it's been on the way up, but it is a real thought given how strongly correlated they normally are. But with Riot shortable, it's worth the look. So at least for right now, Mara will slip on our list, and we'll go from there. All right, so with that, we will go from there, from top to bottom now. SCPS, number one, we're not going to put this on our list, but, up 531%. I may as well just at least show you folks what happened if you ended up missing out on it. I missed out on, trading the stock. I mean, I don't really feel too bad about that because, what goes up comes back down. Imagine getting caught on this on the way up towards like 45, get halted on the way up. And then when it reopens up, you think that you might be able to get out with a big profit, and then it gets halted on the way down. And then it reopens up, God knows what time later here, like 10 points lower. So I really don't feel too bad about missing this as a trade myself. We were watching this, at least putting this on the screen just for fun. But yeah, for the meantime here, this SCPS reminds me of the WNW trade that Fausto talked about earlier this morning. We followed that yesterday afternoon. Same stuff. Same BS pretty much, right? This got halted a bunch of times on the way up. If you were able to clip a nice profit on this, congrats. I really mean that. But just imagine getting stuck in this trade on the way down. So there are much better stocks for us to try and follow here, really heading into the, not even just the afternoon, each and every day, rather, in the mornings, the afternoons. So, kudos to anyone that pulls off the 1 share, 2 share, 3 share. Hey, if you do more than that, you got some, cojones, as Fausto would say. The same thing with this. A lot of these, Chinese stocks, I believe, are, making these big moves up and down. Mingzhu Logistics, so YGMZ stock, I would assume extremely low float at the same time. Got halted probably, 18 times there across the morning and afternoon. I'd much rather at least follow this NXTD comparative to those. We kind of started with this, but for right now, we'll kind of keep this off our list, just given this recent drop off. I wouldn't expect as much given where it is right now. Just as in terms of the spread, the liquidity, I'd much rather this over the others. AXTI stock ended up making a nice move, slow and steady up to 5, and then just blasted right through 5. Made a full $1+ move, hit a high of 625, pulled back. Very tradable stock. Volume died off shortly after 1:30 Eastern. Spreads aren't too big right now. Liquidity is kind of thin on both sides. So maybe I'll come back to this also here, the AXTI. Give this a second look, perhaps. AXTI, not to be confused with AIKI, which is what Norman's calling out here. So I'll take a quick break. AIKI here up 21%. I would have gotten to this probably in just a moment. Yeah, right here, number 17. But yeah, nice push. It's a cheapie, right? So, we normally don't follow the cheapies as much because given how far they've moved up so far, how much more are they going to give, right? But we could say the same thing with, I think, that NXTD trade, which is now at 183. This stock was at 40 cents 2 days ago. So, we followed this yesterday afternoon. It did all right. And, perhaps the AIKI could do the same. I'd rather just kind of keep over the dollar price level that we look to follow. That's all. Being a stickler to the rules today, Norman. That's all. And just, hey, we're in the middle of the phase 1 course, right? We talked about that yesterday in class. So, hopefully that pushes up. And if you're already in it, I hope that you do really well. The Mavis trade, look at this. This is definitely going to be on our list, probably at the very tippy top. This thing is looking really nice heading into the close. It's hard to borrow. I don't know if you can get the shares to short, but, nonetheless, this is really pushing up nicely. Resistance off of 5. You have a stack of orders on the ask over 5 there, too. 63,000 plus basically 11 plus 14. All right, so Mavis, I don't know what the news is. I may have copied and pasted probably from earlier this week. I'm not going to really do a quick look right now. I'm just going to zip through this list here today, folks. But for right now, the Mavis trade, obviously, just given where it's at, this is definitely the type of stock that I would want to follow right now. All right, cool. So we got a decent one to begin. The Mara's on our list already, just given kind of Bitcoin's strength right now. It still has kind of been like strong throughout the afternoon. And if Mara doesn't move this afternoon, then perhaps it'll move like once the market closes. As I had said, Bitcoin will typically move around like 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6, 6:30. We ended up seeing a huge pop overnight. So PHUN, I guess the fun is over, pun intended, of course, there. But, hey, for right now, this trade ended up doing us pretty nicely from the morning, popped over $1. I mean, I'm sure a couple of us caught this from around 90 cents, 92 cents. But once it broke over $1, it really ended up making a strong run up from there. So, I didn't trade this myself. I easily could have. I wish I did. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I know a bunch of us in the trading room did. That's why I point that out. We can only follow so many stocks at a time, just like each of us. So, hey, I was trading Mara. I was trading Riot. I was, a couple of others. But for anyone that followed this, did really well. Nice trade. Just lost my spot. I was looking at the fun. All right. What else do we have here? EVOK. This stock I'm familiar with a little bit, so I just want to look at it. It's not really doing a whole lot. Moved up a little bit slow and steadily. MP, I know one of our students, Bill, tipped me off to this MP stock. I mean, so far he's been right as far as its strength on the way up. Is this new all-time high? Is this an IPO? Yeah. Pretty interesting. It's near the highs of the day, all-time highs. So, for right now, I don't mind slipping this on our main watch list for right now. This is the MP trade. We have Mara, we have MP, and Mavis. Got 3 M's. That's it. SLDB, maybe this one will join the list. This was pretty active earlier, and kind of making a push right now heading into the afternoon. So I guess I could say this is kind of near the highs for right now. It also is shortable, so if it goes the other way. But yeah, for the meantime here, SLDB, I'll break the streak of the M's, but put this on our list here too. Bill says, follows up here in the chat board just for all of us, says that it's one of those new acquisition companies, one of those SPACs, SPACs, and new EV related company, I think. Oh, I am corrected myself by Bill, who says rare earths, not EV. I'm sorry. There you go, a little teamwork, right? MDXG looking pretty interesting. For right now, I'm going to pass. EVOK. Folks, give me a quick sec here. I'm just going to adjust my microphone. All right, folks, should be good now. Sorry about that. All right, so Sumo should be good now. Perfect. All right, so SUMO, not doing a whole lot here. Just had to reset my audio there. Sorry. Let's see. Got Jeff saying FSR high of the day. I'm kind of peeping back and forth between the chat board and the scanners here. So FSR right away. This one stands out to myself. I saw this make a pop in pre-market. I don't know what the news was at the time, but it caught my eye, and ever since, really didn't do a whole lot, but up until 2 o'clock, that is, I should say, it popped, and obviously now making a big move up higher. So, yeah, good call, Jeff. I like this one, the FSR, definitely on our list. Pamela also pointing that out as well. Yep. So with FSR moving, how about this? That's Fisker, right? That's an EP stock. Blink's kind of near the highs right now. June from the trading room today, not on YouTube. In the trading room, June is from. Yeah, it's near the highs, you could say, given its trend, up 11.5% still. For right now, I'm going to see if there's anything looking a bit stronger, kind of like that FSR. Neo, I know one of us had watched this earlier. I think it was Troy that picked up like a 20-cent profit. For $45 stock, I want to see again if there's anything even sharper than that. Solo pop from earlier today, just kind of zipping through the EV stocks here, folks. XPEV, not a whole lot going on there. Plug is closer to the highs compared to all of those others. Up 8+%, 31 big level. There we go. All right, so we got Plug, and not really much going on there with the FSO, at least not yet. All right, so for right now, Plug, definitely of those looking pretty good. The FSR looking pretty good of the EVs. All right, let's hop over to the losers list for right now. Going to zip through the losers list here and just finish up. Got a bunch of stuff hard to borrow here to begin. SY or SCYX. Easy to borrow, but doing nothing. UXIN, dollar stocks, I wouldn't expect much. Yeah. Ooh, Zine shortable today. Same thing. All right, that might just about do it, folks. I mean, hey, if there's anything else that you find interesting, up, down, left, right, 5% or more here, let me know. Anything that I didn't really look at just yet. And then DM at 680 says Norm. Yeah, looking pretty interesting. Up 8+% right now, or just over 8. Moving up pretty nicely. We are familiar with the stock. Yeah. Definitely a big volume spike, so news had to have come out. So I will jump to Benzinga Pro on this. Why not? This one I'll jump to. So what do we got here? NNDM. I actually was going to copy and paste the news for NXT TD just before, but as I looked, there was no news. It just actually said it was running up off of no given news. So that'll happen at times. I'm not a big fan of that. NNDM, same thing, I think. Unusual options activity. That's all I happen to see here. That's from Monday. So, no news even from today. I mean, hey, at this point, though, we're going to still watch this. It's one that we're pretty familiar with at the least. It's not some random low float stock that we're not familiar with. So, this one, good call. XSPA, did I cover? Not much to cover now. Not much to cover now, Mike. At this point, I think there is an offering on this stock. So I'm not looking at this here really for the afternoon. I'm sure there might be some sort of wacky 5-cent squeeze up, but OCG, here, one sec. Got out at 173. Nice. OCG, nice trend on the way down. Hey, heading into the afternoon, if you can get the shares to short, that might be the better call. It looks like a new IPO, so I don't think that you can short it. Yeah, it's not looking too good for a long, Tony. Unless if this thing can really find some big support. I'm hopeful that it can. Just it's up 13%, which is pretty interesting. But given how far the stock had moved up and then pulled back as an IPO, I think it's just going to continue. Alrighty, folks. I think that just about does it. Looking on YouTube right now, Facebook Live right now, or other platforms. Checking on Mara. We'll check in on Riot. And Mara pulling back down a bit now. So you know what? How about this? We might do an old switcheroo here. You might. And checking on Bitcoin right now before we finish up. Yeah, coin's dropping off. All right, so we're going to do a switcheroo here. How about this? We're going to see how this works out. We'll check back in on this topic tomorrow. But we're going to take Mara off the list, and we're going to put the shortable Riot on our list. See how that plays out. All right, folks. For right now, for all of us on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, if there's any other questions that you folks have, feel more than free to join us Monday to Friday right here in the Cyber Group Trading Room. Otherwise, just like, subscribe, notify right on our YouTube channel. I always say notify, and I say this most importantly, because heading into 2021, myself, Fausto, and our team here, we're going to be jumping on sporadically throughout the day, just in and out. I mean, not all of the time, but you never know. So notify yourself, hit the bell there, just to make sure that you folks know when we're hopping on live, when we're not. And then aside from that, just feel free to join us, as I had said just before, in the trading room. All right, for all of us inside the trading room right now, give me a quick break. You're going to jump back on the mic probably around 3:15 heading into the afternoon. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.